Getting started here, checking out my volume controls to make sure everything sounds about right. Let's check this out. All right, I think I hear everything okay here. Let me make sure. Let's kill that. All right. So we'll get started. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of playing Guild Wars, I was planning to play a little bit of another game that I got here called Co-Ridden. It looks pretty cool. I saw a sweet demo of it a while back, and I picked it up on one of the holiday sales. And so, let's see here. There we go. That's more better. All right, the volume sounds good. One thing I want to check is see if I can make it so that, let's see. What is this? Online management inventory skill points only in safe spaces. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to check the volume, make sure that it's not completely over talking me or too much dominating while I'm trying to talk. Otherwise, nobody can hear anything. So, let's see. All right, I think that'll do. All right. And, okay, there we go. And on one of my channels, I don't need to say which one, I have my daily my daily bot coming in to ask me if I want to get view bots on here. I won't be doing that, but I appreciate the offer. Let's do some local play. And instead of continuing, here's what I want to do. I came in earlier today to play through some of the demo just to get an idea of what the gameplay would be like. And let's see. I kind of like playing Shy, new character. Nope, I don't want to delete the character. I just want to start the game. And actually, let's see. Let's return to the main menu. I do want to start the game from the beginning. Because while I did get into the controls, I'd like to kind of capture the whole experience of the game. So, local play, new game. And we can profile, enter my game. All right. And we want to, let's delete that character save. And so I'm starting a new character. Yep. Now let's start the game. Now I think I should find that it starts me at the very, very beginning. Here we go.
The city of Asha was overrun and sealed shut. Suddenly humans were left without a home on a planet they barely knew.
Oh no.
After the Exodus, a new haven has been found in the city of Quillon. Yet people still yearn for the bountiful life of our ancestors. While they distract themselves with the entertainment of the arena, others fight to survive outside the city walls, living among dangerous beasts. Scavengers search for the remnants of ancient technology. Many have attempted to cross the barrier and reclaim the riches of the old city, to no avail.
Oh.
Nothing lasts forever. The barrier has started to flicker, and strange creatures with purple oozing skin have appeared.
That's amazingly specific.
Stirs in those empty, forgotten streets. Soon we might know the truth of what our ancestors sealed away inside.
So I start out at the arena backstage. It has me read. Of course, it lets me know to do the WASD controls. And so if I go through here, it lets me know the spacebar jumps. That's kind of expected. I can use the E button to interact with people. This is, you know, in my day job, I develop training for people. This is how you do training. You give them the least bit of information they need, and you let them go in and play. And as they go in and play, they figure out what it is they need to do. There's a gift on the bench. Lucky you. Gonna give it another go. Good luck. All right. So there's 4 of us here. So what is this? All right. Here's a gift from Dad, a new set of prana gauntlets for each of you. He didn't have time to give them to you himself, unfortunately. He mentioned something about a big discovery. They might look a bit chunkier than normal, but give them a try. These probably haven't been used since the Exodus. Your old prana gauntlets are quite battered, so I'm sure these ones will be an upgrade. I'll be watching your fight. Afterward, it's back to work in the repair shop as usual. See you there. Your biggest fan, Mom. All right, cool. And it looks like the door opened, so I have these on right now. There's nothing to be learned there, so I think I'm ready to go out here and enter the arena. All right.
All right, everyone, get yourselves together. This is our next step towards becoming champions. I can't wait to be famous.
Stop daydreaming and focus. The most important part is that we do this together.
Wait, what's happening?
What's happening? All right. Oh, this is cool. Oh. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so this lets me know that right click is a dodge, and then I think. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Oh, yeah, there we go. The right click was like a dodge. All right. All right, a bow. So the right click holds to charge and then shoot. Oh, it does a charge shot. All right, nice. The way the bow glows reminds me a little bit of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. When you got a magical bow. The fiery bow is kind of cool. The whole bow was lit up in fire. But if you got a magical bow, it would glow in the same way. Oop. All right, so you click directly on them. Oh, I jumped in the water. All right. Well, that tells me there's no rails there. Oh, there we go. That dodge over those platforms is going to be an issue if I'm not careful. So I should need to be careful. All right. M opens up the map as expected. What do we have here? So those two are purple, and that one's not. Now, what's interesting is that the game seemed to automatically switch me there to the sword. I didn't press anything to switch over. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, what's going on? This feels so strange. What does that say? Sprint and hold, auto run toward the mouse. All right. There we go. The human and monster forms have one energy bar each. Energy is used for melee attacks, range attacks, and activities. All right. So you press F to shapeshift. All right. Press that to eat, and that heals me. Okay. Okay. Cool. So I got a little bit of healing in. Looks like there's a checkpoint up here. Oh. Okay. And what's that? Okay. I see. And I gained some health there. Cool. There's nothing it appears that I need to do to interact with the waypoint. It just works. So, all right. There's something up top up here probably. Let's see. You don't make stairs, ladders that go to nowhere. Oh, must be in human form for this. So. All right, a spear. How do I use the spear? So I can open the equipment tablet and open the inventory tablet. All right, UI. All right. So those are the items that I have equipped. And that is is that the creature? Oh yeah, Jaws. So I have a bow, a sword. So the spear does more damage, it looks like, but it's probably not quite that simple. Let's see. So if I equip that, all right, now that's equipped. Oh, okay. A little more range, a little more damage, probably fewer attacks, though. Maybe a slower attack speed. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Oh. All right, took him down. I'm going to have to get used to that, pressing E instead of F. Use an enemy with high damage reduction and shielded enemies for greater attack damage. Oh, used on enemies, so... Okay, you press and hold. And, alright, looks like the beast has a press and hold. Alright. It looks like I can move around with it. So, all right, I can move forward while I do the press and hold too. So that gives me a big attack. Cool. All right, what's this? Camera rotation. Again, this is how you develop training. This is really good. All right, I need to switch to my beast form to do this. There we go. And again, I can rotate the camera all I want there. That's nice. I dig it. I dig it a lot. All right. That shapeshift is really cool. It's like a D&D druid wild shape. All right. So let's look at my items again. So this does 3 to 38. This one does 14 to 40. And this one does, 13 to 26. Well, let's try equipping this. Let's see what difference it makes. It is a little awkward. So when you do these, you do a left click, not a right click. If I do a right click, it actually brings up information about it. So I have to do 2 left clicks to actually equip it. Okay, so, okay, all right. All right, I like that. Equipment, yep, all right, I understand equipment. All right, and it's the middle button is the camera rotation. That's cool, that's weird, but it's cool. Could be this not weird at all, it's just weird to me, but... All right, skills, leveling up. So I can open the class menu with K. Is this person cool?
Successfully passed the compatibility test, and the linking process is now complete.
Whoa. Who are you?
My name is Maya. I'm your AI assistant.
Oh no, they have AI in this game.
I'm an artificial intelligence residing inside your gauntlets. As long as you wear them, I'm a part of you, always ready when you need my help or guidance.
It's like Aloy's earpiece in Horizon Zero Dawn.
This is a sort of illusion created by me. I will send you back into the arena soon, but first I need to warn you. The internal nanolayer has been damaged due to prolonged inactivity. You must repair them where they were created to stop the risk of uncontrolled transformations.
Uncontrolled transformations?
Seen it happen before. If that were to occur, you could lose control not just over your body, but your mind as well. You would start destroying everything around you.
Maybe we should just take these off then.
No. Removal of the gauntlets has a high probability of triggering a malfunction. The gauntlets need to be repaired at the place they were created.
And where is that?
I'm sorry. I do not seem to have the location data in these gauntlets.
Then how?
Action cannot be sustained for any longer. I need to send you back to reality. Don't worry. I exist to serve humans.
Wait, I want...
Help you solve this mystery.
I didn't level up. I needed to take the step of leveling up. So this is what I've learned. Don't talk to people. The angry beasts. I kind of like actually just using my regular weapon. Oh, snap. I missed that. All right. Well, we'll fight him this way. So it's interesting. Everybody... Oh. So he has a thing that he does there that will pick me up and slam me around. There we go. All right. All right. Oh, snap. Keep fighting. We defeated the big one. Now we keep going. Yay. Oh, one more left. That was wild. All right. What do we have here? All right. So I have mastery of the beast forms. So if I go to here, I have the form that I already know. And I have some things I can boost up. Hidden Predator, Sharpened Teeth, Stealth Attack. All right. I will come back to that one later, though. And was there anything dropped over here? Oh, yeah, there we go. Saberhorn Houndra. And before I go back, I'm going to do that step of... Oh, select my class. Here we go. Guardian, a sturdy protector that lives to aid their teammates, but also punishes enemies that stand against them with devastating force. Hunter, a cunning fighter who prefers to take out enemies with powerful range skills. Hellion, a passionate warrior with heat as their primary element. Surge, a caster and master manipulator that can unleash powerful electric attacks to end their foes. Or a custom class. Choose and combine skill tabs from the standard classes to create your own. This is not recommended for inexperienced players. Well, I'll try out the one that they have here. Let's see. They can specialize in using various tools such as traps, camouflage, and poison, or learn to summon all kinds of creatures to aid them in battle. I kind of like the hunter as I'm looking at these. So let's give that one a try. I have trickster skills. Trickster, ranger, conjurer. And then I have to have 2 spent points to be able to do a ranger. So let's see, what do I have here? Cloak, become invisible to enemies for a brief time, making them unable to target you. That's kind of nice. Explosive trap, I love traps. And envenom, passive constant weapon buff. Adds poison damage. So I'm going to do the explosive trap. And can I do both? Explosive trap and envenom? How many points? Oh, yeah, I have enough points there. And I can start getting into the ranger skills. What do I have here? Imbue arrow. Imbues your arrows with poison for a short duration. Poison enemies are slow and cannot regenerate health. Rapid aim. All right. And light armor speciality. I will do... Let's try imbue arrow. This might be too much of a... of a distribution of my points, but we'll see. And I actually wouldn't mind. It requires 6 spent. Okay, so once I hit 4 spent points, I'm going to put one into there. Now I can access Conjurer. Okay, so this is learn to summon all kinds of creatures to aid you. So I can conjure one of the ones that I've just been playing as. I can conjure Serpentfly Bomber. It will lock onto an enemy and explode upon reaching it. And enhanced battery, and then increases maximum energy. So this one just fights alongside you and can be mounted and controlled. I like that. We'll give that a try. So that's cool. Like my first attempt at getting into this, maybe I was leveled up enough. I don't know if everybody experiences this quite that way, but I did, and that was pretty cool. Oh, and I have 5 points for my critter as well. Let's see. I'm actually going to hold off on that. I tend to like holding back on those kinds of things. My battery is my energy, stability, fragment. These are weird stats, so I got to figure this out. Power increases physical melee damage and maximum death strike damage. That sounds reasonable. I understand that. Increased physical range damage. All right, fragmentation is what that's called, and all damage over time. Stability, increase your health and stability, lower chance of getting staggered. All right. Battery, increase max energy and energy regeneration speed. Also increases ability power, and then element. Increases heat, electric, and poison damage on melee and ranged attacks. See, my first thought on that is, does that affect like the poison damage on my pet, or probably on my traps that I create? I'm not sure. All right, that's what I have for human. That's what I have as a creature. Let's put it. I'm going to do something that's probably. Well, we'll see how it is. I'm going to just juice up. Oh, I can't go more than 2 into fragmentation. So let's do fragmentation and battery. And let's see just how that feels. Here we go. So I selected Hunter. And I thought I already did these. So explosive trap. And then here I had 1 in imbue arrow, and then this is in venom. Yeah, and then this adds poison damage to all of them. So do I need then? Is there any reason why I need imbue arrow to imbue my arrows with poison if my ranged attacks already have poison. I'm guessing no, so let me see. What if I go here? Oh, this just affects my chance to poison them. It doesn't really add the poison damage itself. So I don't like that. So let's go to here and let's just put it into here. And let's just put it into there. I'm going to have fun. I'm just going to go straight into making crazy explosive traps. And then here, I wanted to be able to summon the creature that goes with me. Confirm. Choose Hunter. Confirm. There we go. Okay. And then the last one is leveling up my beast form, I guess. Actually, I'm just not going to mess with that right now. Okay. Now, the question is, when I want to set that trap, okay, I push 1 and it sets the trap. And it, all right, there we go. I push 2 and it summons a critter that fights alongside me. Okay, cool, I got it. I dig that a lot. So let's go into here and see what happens next. All right, backstage. Isn't that cheating? That's funny. All right. All right. All right. So for melee attacks, yep. And then there we go. That works. I think I checked these already. So I guess, what am I supposed to do? I hit that. And if I let it charge, is it still only doing 28? Okay. All right, I was able to leave this time there. So let's see what happens next. Entering the city of Quillon. Now, I noticed this is a safe area, so I can't summon my critter here. So that's cool. That's funny. The arena. All right, what do we have here? Let's rotate this around. All right, this is the Hall of Fame. Very nice. And let's rotate this around this way. Whoop, push him along. You can't interact there. There's no chat function in the game. Let's see, so if I want to bring up the map, all right, there we go. Oh. So I don't see any instances of taking any kind of fall damage. Oh, what am I to do? My poor Titan. The Ramix? What's wrong with him? He's got parasites that are making him weak. It's usually easy to cure. He just needs to eat Vish mushrooms. They're poisonous for most animals, but not for Ramixes. I went to the market to buy some, but they're out of stock. I'm scared he'll get worse if I don't get some soon. Where can one find one of these mushrooms? People usually collect them from the wild, and they sell them at the market. I heard they grow inside caves. They have a strong purple glow. I'll see if I can find any. Titan and I would be so thankful. Cool. There's another critter there. So, that's interesting. So when I shoot, I was aimed at the ground. Oh, wait, what is this? All right, what are you? I can pet this creature. It is happy with me. Let's see, does he follow me around? No. Okay. Dial's Repair Shop. Oh, that's my family, the Dial family. That was the most epic thing I've ever seen. And I can't transform here in town again, so what's up here? Oop. I don't think I can leave town right now. Nope. Mission board, mission level 1. Destroy the nests. We'll start the mission. All right. Oh, it's sending me right there. All right. Well, let's summon my buddy. And it says destroy the nests. I don't know where the nests are. All right. Got a little extra damage in. Still haven't worked out the fire traps yet. I'll have to figure those out. Oh! Electric spit. What is that? Is that a new creature? So if I summon my pet... Yeah. Alright, we can both fight here. That's cool. Okay. So there's several nests here. So this puts me into my own little instances, and that's fine. That's kind of cool. Transform. Drop a trap. Nice. Oh, shoot. They're lighting me up. Drop a trap. Come on. Oh, they're flying right over it. That's not helping me at all. All right, I gotta figure something out here. All right. Now, one of the things that I don't know yet in this game is... how do I heal? Oh, do I not have enough juice? It goes exactly where you aim. Okay. There we go. Gotcha. All right. So that's an interesting question. How do I heal in this game? I have no idea. I missed that part of the tutorial. Something came back at me there. I guess it's less than helpful, though, if my pet actually isn't going up and attacking. There we go. There we go. Lit him up. Lit him up, lit him up. All right, now. Okay, so I'm seeing now that... all right, he's following me. So now if I go to him... now I understand a little bit more about what some of these become cloaked and steal health with every successful melee strike. That's helpful. It'd be great if he... so, oh, this is when... all right. Deals more damage when attacking from behind. Hidden Predator. Increase sharp. All right. Well, let's try. Let's see if I can just pour it all into there and see what happens. I don't know if it does me any good. Oh, what is this? Unleash the raw power to form mighty attacks. Become a conduit of lightning and discharge devastating attacks. Lightning sounds cool. So that got unlocked by me having 3 spent points. But if I change that, can I change that? Can I go back? Can I say, no, I don't want to do that? Let's see, Hidden Predator. This steals health with every successful melee strike. That's cool. Health regained on a hit, 10 HP. Health regained on a hit, 0.8 HP derived from 4% of your ability power. All right. Let's put 3 points into that for now. So I've already selected this, so I guess I can't go back and change that for Thunder Beast. Okay. I'm stuck with what I got then. Increase the damage over time. Release a small but powerful electric bolt, or find a beacon that latches onto an enemy. The beacon attracts projectiles fired by you or an ally. All right. I'm going to go back to here. I'm actually just going to power that up and see. Let's confirm that. Again, might not have been the wisest choice, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So I think this means if I'm in the beast form, I... All right. I just got to be careful not to find too many of them at once. Oh, it's a special attack. I see. All right, so I hit that one. Oh, nice. Oh, that healed up. Nice. All right. I dig that. And I can do one every 6 seconds, I think it said. So that's still recharging. I follow. Poison spit. I don't know what that is, but all right. Okay. Oh, it lasts for 6 seconds, and all my attacks do that. Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. I dig it. I dig it a lot, a lot. All right. All right, that was awesome. I dig it. All right, so this is... All right. 2 of the 9 are destroyed, so let's go to the next one. All right, this is cool. I have a way of getting health back now. That's, I think, the big thing that I wanted to make sure I had. All right, let's get myself a pet. And... I'm just running away. There we go. Oh, come on. What are you doing? I was running down toward him and I was hitting attack. For some reason, it kept running upward. There we go. Get in there. All right. There we go. All right. Gain a little bit of health back for that. Nice. Cool, cool. Oh, what are these? It's cool that there's a combo jump attack that you can do there. All right, continue on. Oh, all right, that's not good. So what we'll do here is F stealth and light 'em up, light 'em up. That ability is so cool. All right. I suppose I could just rotate the camera. There we go. So if I, yeah, okay. It rotates the map with me. That's nice. It's what you'd naturally expect it to do, but not all games do exactly what you would expect them to do. Gotcha. All right, what is this? Oh, that's right. Nice. All right, I gained some health there. Okay, so now I get, let's see what happens if I summon, mount him, so now I'm riding him. Oh, that's cool. So you can move around more quickly. Oh, that looks awesome. All right. Yeah, that is awesome. Let's rotate that around here. There we go. So I can be running and I keep this. All right. Oh, this is cool. All right. Oh, what was that? Was there something back there? All right. Oh, you can just snipe them from here. That's so awesome. Okay. It's funny because I don't know why anybody wouldn't summon the pet in this game and ride it, because it feels good. The control of it feels really nice. But also, here we go. Yeah, that stealth mode is really cool too, especially with the extra healing that it gives. Oh, all right. That's so cool. All right, 2 nests left. Oh. get a good charge up as you're running along there too. God, that's so awesome. And it doesn't take up any of the pet's energy to be running around like that too. That's so awesome. And this one's fast too. I wonder if there are any others. I wonder what the others are like. I'm sure there are other pets in the game, but okay. Okay, there's something up here. Electric spit, level 3. And I've destroyed 8 of the 9. So before I go after that last one, let's take a quick look. Do I have any other? Oh yeah, I do have some more skills that I can level up. So these, to get to the next one, it requires 6 spent points. I'm not quite there yet. I have 1 spent point here on the conjured animal. And then, okay, and then these are other... Oh yeah, and there's a mounted archery skill too. Sweet. And a riding charger. Alright, there's a charged melee attack. I'll have to let me try that out and see. Okay. Oh, nice. That's cool. Okay. Yep. Okay, there's a time out there. Come on. I had set a trap over here. This is one of those things that the designers of the game, they must have reached a point as they were designing it where they used that ability for the first time and they're like, oh wow, this is cool. I almost wish I could have been there like the moment they tried that out. Oh. All right, there's no pausing here, and as I'm discovering there's no pausing, I'm also discovering my mouse is stuck. So let me see. Let's see what I can do to fix that. Okay, there we go. That's fixed. Whew, that could have been bad. It's funny because in some ways this is kind of what I hate always comparing things to D&D, but this is kind of like what mounted combat is like in D&D, because your mount can dash and so on. All right, I'm going to need to fix this, and we'll give that a second. It's nice because it's cool because you can always dash, and so you get your attacks in, and then you have your mount take the dash action. Oh, where'd you guys go? I'm all stealthy now. Oh no, I'm not stealthy. I'm chewing you up. All right. This says must be human to interact. All right. I'm going to take a moment here and fix something. I think the charge on my mouse is coming down, so I just need to plug it in whilst playing. There we go. And it shouldn't be a problem now. Let's see. So the last quest objective is there. Let's get me a pet. All right. I wonder if they have a way that you can buy a respec later on. There we go. Mission possible. All right. Got an achievement for having completed this. Oh, I see. And then what are these two things they have here? Hold E to abort the mission. No, we don't want to abort the mission. We have finished the mission. Hold E to travel to Quillian. Having completed the mission. All right. Okay, that was cool. That was really cool. Claim the mission reward. Destroy the nest. Wait, back. All right. Okay. So they have missions at different levels. And this is kind of cool because this gives me a chance to get an idea of what each of the various abilities do. So it looks like I've got 2 more points there. And those 2 points I can pour into my beast here, or I can wait and pour them into a higher level, you know, something at a higher level. What are these? Rapid aim, imbue arrow, level 1. All right, 12 poison damage. All right, I'll have to figure these out later on. Unfortunately, that explosive trap isn't doing nearly what I was hoping it would. Okay. Let's take a look at this. What is this thing? Oh, that's something I can eat, I guess, for health, which I don't need right now. But what I do need, I guess I want to be able to, as I go through the story, be a little bit stronger. So let me see. All right. Defend the power station until it's fully reactivated. Destroy the nest, level 2. Okay, so they have different levels that you can do these. You can choose the level you want to be when you do them. So I did the one for recommended level 1 through 3. Let's see how this goes. I might get crushed, but that's all right. I see someone here said I got a question. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead. Gain muscle or gain Igors? What are Igors? Very good. I get it. Nice try there, though. Okay, let's take a look here. So this has the 2 back-to-back there. Okay, so 2 summons my buddy. And from where I am, go that way. There we go. Oh. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's see. I've been wanting to see how well the fire traps will work. All right. Let me transform. Now I didn't activate. Oh. So it says that the pet reached level 4. Oh, I guess I am the pet when I'm in the creature form. So it didn't say that my character leveled up. It just says that the pet leveled up. That's weird. That's all right. Oh, I see something moving. Stealth. Light 'em up. All right, and summon my buddy, mount up, and there we go. There we go. Oh, on a cooldown timer. I love that I can just run for a while. There we go. Come on. Light 'em up. Run for a little while. Unfortunately, the others weren't coming by my trap over here. It's a little like the game Sang-Fua, where you just take your time, pay attention. Oh, come on. Hit my trap. Boom. Got you. So it's better to get a fully charged attack if I can. Oh. Where'd you go? There you are. Gotcha. Holy cow. These guys are just lighting me up with all these different abilities. Oh, no, no, that's not good. Run away. There we go. So don't run through his cloud. Come on, where'd you go? Oh. Nice. All right. So I will need to heal up a little bit here. So to do that, let me go into the... Oh, actually, let's summon my buddy, and then I'll do that. All right, there we go. Nice. All right. Oh. There we go. Okay, I think I'm at a relatively safe spot here. So let's see if I can dump some points into these. The trap isn't really doing much for me. I guess I have to have 6 spent points in total to start unlocking the next ones. Up here I need 10 in total, and here I need 8. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so what does Rapid Aim do again? Automatically aim your ranged attack at your target perfectly for a short time. We'll see about that. Conjure Serpent Fly Bomber. Let's see. That increases my max energy. That's never a bad idea, I think. So let's go ahead and put one into there. And if I put the one into there, that should open up these. So now I can do my gravity trap. Place a trap that, when stepped on by an enemy, creates a zone that pulls enemies inward. That's pretty cool. Backstab deals more damage with melee. Yeah, that's alright. Cloak heal. Regenerate health while cloaked. Now, that only works if you have the cloak ability, right? Okay, so if let's see. How long does this last? So it lasts for 4 seconds. And this one regenerates 1% of max health per second. So the most I'll get out of this is 4 seconds worth. And yeah, that's not going to give me much. I think I'd rather, let's see, detonate trap. Increase the effectiveness of your equipped light armor. I don't have any equipped light armor right now, right? So I see light weapon mastery, precision crossbow expertise, longbow expertise. All right. And here I have my pet here. This seems like this would always be good, even at the highest level. Having that close to maxed out would be good. So let's see, mounted archery looks good. That other creature, when I was fighting it, it looked tough, so it seems like that would be a cool one to have as well. Beast Call, activate an aura that boosts the damage of all allied creatures. Now what I'm interested to see is, can you have more than one creature at once fighting alongside you? Because if you can, that's pretty strong. Let's see. Backstab. I think for what I've got, I'm just going to pour this extra into... Let me see. Is there anything else that I can get out of the cloak healing? I guess cloak healing might be good. This definitely scales with you. I'll try it and see. Of course, then the next abilities would be unlocked. Extraction, line of arrows. I really don't like that at all. I like that, putting one into there. And honestly, I'm thinking I'm just going to put that all into there. Because the way my gameplay is working right now, it seems it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. So let's see how that works. So, all right. And I've barely moved out of the area that I started from, so let's get me a pet. Now it could be that I'm too low of a level to be trying to do what I'm doing here. That could be the part of the problem. All right. What is that? Yeah. Okay, that's health. That doesn't hurt. All right. Now there's something over here. Something red on my radar. What is it? Something I should be not messing with? Oh, come on, get on. Come on, buddy. So the trap doesn't last long enough. That's a problem. That's something I'll have to work out. Looking back, I wish I hadn't poured it into the trap, but that's okay. Now, can I drop a trap from the mounted pet? No. Let's see. I don't know. Okay, I can. Okay. So, let's see. That might be just fine. Come on, come after me, buddy. Boom. Eat that. Nice. Nice. All right. Let's head over this way. Nope. I'm poisoned. I'm not sure what that means. All right. Come on, buddy. Come over here. He got blowed up. Probably should be doing. There we go. Oh. Oh, I didn't realize I had that option. Did I just breathe fire at him? Oh, yeah, that's cool. And there's health. Nice. So I transform back, ride my mount. Perfect. Perfect. All right. All right. We'll transform. Stealth mode. Gain some healing. Gain some health. Light him up. Light him up. All right. A little bit of poison. That sucks, but it's okay. All right. I can stop there. Yes, I have something I can pour into the next skill up. Since I have 8 total now, what do I have here? Adrenaline Rush. Temporary fire rate and movement speed boost after scoring a critical hit with a ranged weapon. That's kind of nice. Line of arrows. Release a volley of arrows straight ahead. All right. 2 projectiles. That's kind of cool. Extraction. Blast 1 toxic ring that damages enemies around you. If a poisoned enemy is hit, it will cause an additional explosion on that enemy, dealing extra damage to any... Okay. Well, let's try it. That seems fun. And then once I need 2 more points, I'll go into the higher level. Oh, wow. All right. Points available. I think putting it into the fragment is good. And the battery is fine. Yeah. I like that. I like both of those a lot. Wait, what did I do? There you go. Confirm. And then in the beast form, I'm level 6. Yeah, I've been pouring everything into the... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Electric pause. Oh, okay. So I was on Thunder Beast. Let's see. Raw power perform mighty attacks and withstand great damage. Toxic Tyrant Thunder Beast. Let's just do Feral Brute. I kind of like that. Gain a small portion of health and also temporarily raise your max health. So is the... Okay. I'll select that one. I just want to see if... Alright, that's all still aspects of the same creature then. A melee beast, increase damage and reduce shoddy hit chances for your melee attacks. Range beast. Alright. And there I've maxed that out. What do we have here? Electric Paw. Poison Dash. Alright. I like the Fortify. And then I'll have some more that I can put into here later on. Let's confirm that. See how that plays out. Don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but we'll see. Alright. And it is 10 after 7. Actually, I'll finish this mission, then I think I'm going to take a short break. Let's see. Alright. Summon a pet. Come on, get on. There we go. Nice, nice. All right. So with that, yeah, with that boost, I'm definitely dealing more damage now, which is good. All right. Okay. I feel like I have these, I've got the trap figured out. I'm kind of glad I put in what I did into the trap now that I figured out how to use it. It's pretty cool. All right. Go up here to the top. Oh, okay. What was that? Oh, that was that poison ability. Okay. Come on, come on. Step on my trap. Boom. Gotcha. There we go. The layout of these stages is really cool. Come on, step on my trap. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, cool, cool. So you press and hold that, and nice, nice. All right. Where did he go? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Switch back. Summon. There we go. Hit him with that. Where'd my pet go? There we go. Mount up. Very good. Oh. Come on. Step on my trap. Boom. All right. All right, that poison ability is pretty slick. Being able to charge in there and just light him up with it is pretty awesome. Come on, step on my trap. Boom, there you go. Oh, come on. Well, that's a problem. Summon. Can I summon my buddy? Can I change? There we go. I'll gain a little bit of life that way. All right, switch to 2. Gain a little bit more life that way. All right. I like that there's no real change. You have separate energy bars between the two. I remember reading or hearing a review that talked about this game. They didn't like the energy bar, but I think part of the purpose of that is to encourage you to switch between the two. But I think also the presence of the energy bar is to encourage you to ride them out. I mean, I suspect if that's what they're trying to do, I suspect that is what they're trying to do, rather. There we go. Boom. Did they get healed up after they got lit up by the bomb? That's weird. Gotcha. That's 2 down. All right, come on down. All right. Nice. Oh. Is that a treasure chest? Love it. All right. Gets me more gold. Yeah. It seems like there are a lot of things there that to try to encourage you to use the more energy efficient things, the charge shot, riding them out, and so on. Okay, so it's back there. Step on it. There you go. All right. And I think the last ones are over there. Oh, that was the starting point. So yeah, the last one's over that way. So we'll head on over there. Come on, run into my trap. Gotcha. Okay. Tapping the shift key does that. I was wondering why sometimes I was jumping in a way I didn't want to. I must have been tapping the shift key rather than actually doing anything else with it. So, kind of like this. Let's see about changing back. Summon a pet. Let's see if there's anything else around here that can get me some additional experience, like these guys right here. All right. There we go. All right, let's take a quick look at my skills now. Yeah, so now I need to have spent 10 to be able to conjure the next creature up. So what can I pour this into? That extraction ring is pretty cool. I dig that. I'd almost rather pour more into the things that I have than trying to add additional things. So let's go ahead and put one more into the explosive trap, and then the next time I gain a point, I'll be able to put it into conjuring this next level creature. I'm guessing it's going to be a stronger creature. Riding Charger. It's a passive ability. Creates increases the damage dealt by charged melee attacks. Okay. And this additional creature... So this one has a lifetime of 30 seconds, cooldown of 35. This one has a shorter cooldown. It's cheaper. That's weird. Conjured creature, all damage 1x derived from a percentage of your power. All right. What's the difference between these two? Let's see. So this one has its own health of 240 and the conjuration health of plus 18. And then the conjuration reserved energy. Not sure what that is. That's all right. It has a defense of 35, ability power of 140, 42 to 85 sharp damage. This one has a defense... Oh. Has a similar defense. Blunt damage resistance and sharp damage resistance, same ability power, 42 to 85 jaws. So they're similar. It seems like the difference is this one has blunt and sharp damage resistance, which this one does not. Oh, this one's tail does additional damage, though. All right. Yeah. And then what other creatures are there? Master Conjuring. Increase the health and lifespan. Efficient Conjuring. Okay. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back in just a bit. And I'm going to continue on. This is pretty fun, so I'll be right back. All right, all right. And we're back, and we'll get back into the gameplay here. And that was pretty cool. I'm finding I'm enjoying getting in here and seeing what the various abilities are. I try to find the more I can do with the fewest hotkeys that I have to fiddle around with, the better. Particularly if it's something that I can hit and it affects everybody around me, or if I can hit it and it boosts my character, it's one thing. If it's an attack, the getting the aim and the attack right can be a little bit annoying. Let's see. All right, so I was using Fortify, Melee Beast, Praying Eye, and Resilient Roar. Let's add a Roar that boosts physical resistance for you and nearby allies. All right, that's kind of a nice thing to be able to tack onto my pet there as well. So let's see. Or Improve Depot, which improves my max energy when I'm in the beast form. So let's take, I'll boost the Fortify up again. And because I don't think there are any skills down there that I'm hoping to increase at this time. So, all right, is there anything else here I want to do? I think I can increase my fragment. Yeah. And I'm just going all in on those. All right, there we go. So, I'll probably claim my mission rewards. All right, what did I get? All right, so I've completed level 2. I'm not going to go into level 3 right now because I'd like to continue on with the story, but I may come back at a later time and do level 3. What is this? I can eat that and it boosts my health up, I guess. All right, and what's over here? Somebody I can talk to, apparently. Yeah, here we go. Those guards are good for nothing sometimes, you know. I've barely been able to get into my house since a pesky bunch of serpent flies decided to build a nest just outside. Now I'm standing here announcing to everyone that I'm a coward who's too scared to try to get inside. What does that have to do with the guards? A member of the guard promised that they'd help remove the nest several days ago, and they still haven't done anything about it. Meanwhile, the thrice cursed thing has grown even bigger. Where's the nest? Just here in the alley. My house is at the end. Maybe I can help. Please hurry. If it's between staying alive and eating supper, I'm choosing life, but I'd rather not choose. All right, so he's saying it's in the oh, they're right there. All right. So let's get my and I can't summon those, so I can just shoot them. All right, come on, got you. Nest destroyed. Mission complete. You got rid of them. Thank you. I was supposed to pay the guards with this, but since you did the job, it's yours. And I gained enough experience maybe to level up. Is that what I saw? Nope. Just the thump of having completed the mission. All right. Another undiscovered area down here. Let's see what's there. Oop. Oh, that's cool. I can get into the boat. Now, again, I noticed with these... Oh, yeah, there is no rail here. It will just let you go into the water, which is fine. It's fine. Let's just... It said undiscovered, so there's something there. Oh. You throw those cursed artifacts away at once. The gods punished us from our ancestors' deviant attempts at becoming gods themselves. Using those shape-shifting powers will only lead to our doom. They will punish us once again. They did? How do you know that? How could our ancestors with their intellect, technology, and resources be forced out of Asha? Nobody can tell you why or what happened. That's a sign of the gods deciding to interrupt the colonists' plans. We disagree. These gauntlets are a good thing. Yes. What if it is, in fact, a gift from the gods? This could be a sign, a path forward for us to reclaim the old capital and our standing as rulers on this planet. Raja, our god of protection, keeper of peace and order, knows I'm right. Okay, they're getting into an argument back and forth. Are you trying to tell me Raja's not wise? Raja may be wise, not you, not so much. Matrika seems to have blessed you all right, with an abundance of stupidity. All right, we'll leave them to it. They can continue arguing amongst themselves. Now, what is this down here? Try not to run into the water again. So there's something there. Am I supposed to interact with it? So that says undiscovered. I'm wondering if there's something, maybe, let's see, let me rotate this around. Is there something associated with this blue boat or that lamp? I don't know. I jumped into the drink again. Doggone it. All right. Let's run around the other area of town. I want to get back into the combat again in just a bit. If I need to, I can always go back and knock out another one of those missions, but I'm interested to see what's over this way. Oh, what is it? Peressin. All right. Now I just got to figure out how to get in there. Let's look around it from all sides. Ah, steps. Steps, that's good. Getting me to high ground is a step closer. All right, I can get up to there. Can I use it to climb? And it won't let me change here. No. Okay. All right, I'll have to figure that out. Because I think I can jump that way, but I can't get in. So there's something there for me to get. I'll give one more round of this, and then I'll move on to the next area. What is this? Is this a door? No. At least not one that I don't see an obvious way to open. I don't see anything obvious in there either. Other than me getting stuck. Did I just get stuck? Oh, there we go. I made it out. All right, I'll come back to that later on. Let's work our way back up here. It looks like most of the stuff that they want us to deal with in town is up this way. There we go. Checkpoint saved. So, okay. So there will be other cities in the game, and I can fast travel between them. It's them. Are those things safe? All right. So I've got these like bracers or gauntlets or whatever, and that's what's allowing me to have the powers to shapeshift in the game. That was super cool. How did they do that? There we go. So it looks like the family's in here, so I can go in and talk to them.
That was amazing.
We're not champions yet, Mom.
You are to me. But wow, I've never seen you use your powers like that before.
Jai asked, do you know anything about these gauntlets?
When I was a child, I was told stories about the colonists having tech that would make them close to gods. Could this be it?
have a defect that we need to fix, or it could be dangerous.
Defect. That shouldn't be much of a problem for this family. Go and ask your Aunt Ira for help. No one can beat her engineering skills.
You mean we need to leave the city?
Yourselves out there. And your dad isn't here, so he can't argue with me. Ira visited me yesterday to pick up some medication. She mentioned heading out to work at her camp in River Edge Mines. You can take our old boat on the west side of the harbor to get there.
Oh, that was what the thing was that was undiscovered for me yet.
I'll be at home if you need anything. Good luck out there.
That's my stash. Oh, what do we have here? All right. So this is my stash of goods. So this was the training sword, the original spear. Oh, wait a minute. So, okay, that's all right. Poison spit. I don't need that. But all right, that's the creature that. What am I doing? Wait, what's going on? Clicking it stores the item. Got it. But I don't want to store the item. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I don't mind that. Kopesh, does that deal more damage than my current one? All right. So if I, okay, but if I stored the item, that's electric spit. Okay, I get it. Oh, okay. So those are things like spits that my pet can have. Wow, that's weird. So the, all right, I'll look at those in just a second. So the crossbow, let's see, my bow does 6 to 26 piercing, 1 projectile. The crossbow does more. So, oh, doggone it. I wanted to, let's put the crossbow back. Let's put the saber horn back. And the poison spit is level. It does 3 projectiles. Let's put that back. All right, I can look at those separately. And all right. So now, right now I've been using this creature, but I can use the Saberhorn Houndra. It has a higher defense, so I can equip it. Wait a minute, did I? Oh yeah, okay. See, I didn't put any into that, so... Oh, but I can turn into one. Okay. So what I can conjure versus what I can become are 2 different things. Okay. I understand now. So that creature is at level 7. That's something I'm going to have to keep in mind as I go along, that the ability that I have for the creature and the ability they have for the summoned is going to be different. Okay, so I can choose. So I have the energy collar, the tech vest, and right now I'm using the poison spit, and I can change that. So this is level 6. So right now, okay. This one's a higher level, so I can equip that one. All right. And so this one does more projectiles, but a lower fire rate. All right, it gives me a nice comparison between the two. So this does outright. It has a higher fire rate, a greater chance of critical hits. This is just outright better than what I currently have. And then for the melee attack... the shoddy hit chance is higher, but it does more damage. How much more damage? This is 13 to 38. This is 19 to 48. It's only a little bit higher of a shoddy hit chance energy costs, but it has a higher energy cost with each hit. I'm not doing that much with this. I don't feel like I need to change that much. But this will give me a chance to check these things out and see what these additional abilities are. I'm going to keep that, but let's go ahead and store all that stuff away so that I don't run into inventory problems. All right, now, so I have my mission defined. There's the boat for traveling, and is there anything else in town that I need? I see stairs. What is up these stairs? Apparently, an invisible wall that I cannot go past. All right. Oh, yeah, I can respec. All right. I like that. Fresh start. Cool. All right. So now I am going to respec all of these. I still like having these maxed out the way they are. So we'll confirm that. For this one, let's play with a custom class and see what it looks like. All right. So, Commander, push yourself and your team toward victory. All right. I like Conjurer. Oh, I can have those start out as my like initial skills. Wow. Okay. These require 6 spent points. So 1. Conjure Serpent Fly Bomber, enhanced battery. All right. I like having 1 there. And then I can conjure the Houndras. You and your mount while riding. All right, the fire rate is increased there. Let's put a little bit into that. I kind of like that. And then if I can come back here and respec, then I can just play and experiment with this. So these I can start putting power into. So let's see. Time Bender, Energizer, add yourself and your allies. Okay. Aid yourself and your allies by keeping everyone energized through battle. Devotee, unlock powerful healing and boosting abilities for you and your teammates. I kind of like that. Ranger, I like those. Nope, I don't want that. Let me exit out of that. And skills, custom class. All right. I definitely want to do a custom class. I like the Conjurer. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put 1 into there. And I'll save the rest for the next class I choose. I liked Ranger, but for now, I think, let me look at Devotee. Healing zone. Create a zone that gradually heals all allies inside. That's kind of cool. All right. I like that. And then for this one, which one did I previously have? I think I had like Energizer or something like that. I'll do Ranger. And I liked here. Those require 10 points. I don't need to put any into there though. So I think I will. Let's pour it into here. Mounted archery. So I don't have my traps like I had before. I don't have the traps like I had before. All right. I'll just go back to what I had. I was better off with what I had before as a hunter. Cloak. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I had... okay. I think the difference here is going to be the order. So here I have Trickster first. Wait, is that Trickster first? Trickster. I'd like to do Trickster last. So we'll do the respec. Actually, class skills or respec. So now let's look here. I will do it as a custom. I'm just going to arrange the order slightly differently. So I want to have Conjurer first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. There we go. And then here I will put in Ranger. All right. I'm going to figure this out, by golly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. Here, let's do Trickster next. Or does Trickster have to be the first one? No. Okay, yeah, there we go. Trickster. So explosive trap, and then I was using the Envenom before, but I'd actually, I think, or no, I wasn't using the Envenom. I was using one of the explosive ones, but I'm going to just boost up the explosive trap. That will actually really simplify my structure. Choose custom class. Yep, that's the one I want. I'll figure out the rest later. And then for this one, I really like the Hidden Predator. That's pretty cool. And then for my other option, I was using the Feral Brute. I really like that one. That's maxed out. And we'll work on maxing that out for now. Okay, so I'm not far from what I had before. The big difference is now I have a slightly better critter design, or I think it'll be slightly better critter design because I can be either 1 or 2. All right. Oh, I can conjure either of them. Oh, that's cool. All right. Let's go then up to here. I'd actually like to get a little bit more combat under my belt with this new arrangement. If I can summon both of those, that would be really cool. I wish I could respec or reset these items, and I'm pretty sure I can under here. So, let's see, inventory. So those are my skills. I want to set that to be button 1. Assign skill. All right, this one I want to be 1. All right. Conjure that one we'll put there, and then conjure Huntress we'll put there. There we go. Nice and simple. So that the thing that deals more damage is number 1, and then I have my other pets as number 2. All right. So now let's get back in here and take a look at the mission board. Let's run up there. I did a decent job on that last mission, so let's see if I can do a little bit better on this one. So that one was for levels 3 to 6. So this is level 6 to 9. Destroy all the nests. Let's see how I do. Okay. Again, I like the speed of the movement. That's pretty cool. And I was going the wrong way. Okay, so there's one down there. Let's go hit that one first. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Nice. Okay, so you can have multiple pets with you at once. Nice. Drop a bomb. Okay, some big creatures out there now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got overwhelmed a little bit. Okay, but that's cool though. It just sends you right back to town, so I can try it again. Okay. This is pretty cool. I'm at a good stopping point right now. There's actually something I'd like to go over tonight because it's approaching 8 o'clock. Something I'd like to go through tonight before going offline. So I really like this this co-ridden. It was pretty good. I'm gonna probably get some more gameplay on it tomorrow. But in the meantime, there was a video that I was wanting to watch and just kind of comment on. Let me find it. All right. So here we go. So it says, let me make sure that it's showing it properly here. So it says game prices are collapsing. Publishers were wrong. So I'm interested to hear what he has to say about this and to just generally comment on it. So let's see. I'm going to test to make sure the volume works out okay. Just a moment.
I've heard you, and with today's story, it seems the rest of the industry is also beginning to hear you. Now, this year started with the fear that gaming is getting more expensive. Microsoft and Nintendo pushed the ceiling to $80, an impossibly high ask, especially as everything else has got more and more pricey. But elsewhere in the industry...
All right. I think it's working out okay. So I'm going to start it back at the beginning. Let's see how it goes.
I've heard you, and with today's story, it seems the rest of the industry is also beginning to hear you. Now, this year started with the fear that gaming is getting more expensive. Microsoft and Nintendo pushed the ceiling to $80, an impossibly...
Yeah, they were talking about, what was it, GTA? I think they were talking about going over 100. That's crazy. But it's a weird thing because if you look back on it, like if you were to go back and look at pricing of games, back in the 80s and 90s, and you compare those to now with the way the cost of everything else is going up, games seem to be really cheap. So I'm interested to see his take on this.
high ask, especially as everything else has got more and more pricey. But elsewhere in the industry, something quieter is happening. And it's this. The games that you are actually buying, well, we've got the data about them.
Yeah.
As it turns out, they're getting cheaper.
Yeah.
100
Yeah. I may be in a weird place because I predominantly buy my games on Steam and Good Old Games. If it's something that requires multiplayer or that can benefit from the Steam interface, I get it on Steam. Otherwise, I get it on Good Old Games because it's all DRM free. But Yeah, my tendency is to, if I have a choice between buying it on a console or getting it on Steam, I'll usually get it on Steam.
$100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. That was the rumor
Yeah,
that
there.
kicked off this year's anxiety about game prices.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I think people were concerned that that was going to set the tone for how it was going to be going forward.
It was one that Take-Two have been happy to downplay, if not outright refute. But with GTA now delayed, we won't know the truth until next autumn, though
We have a pretty good idea. It's probably going to be over 100, but we'll see.
I've already seen audiences reject the new price ceiling of $80. Xbox tried to put The Outer Worlds 2 at $80, presumably buying some headroom for Microsoft's lovely 30% profit margin demand. But they quickly reversed that decision. The inference from that? They didn't see enough pre-orders. People essentially voted with their wallet.
So what did that say back there? Let me check that.
The inference from
The Outer Worlds was supposed to be Microsoft's wedge. If Obsidian's latest launch was $80, then of course the next Call of Duty, Halo, or Diablo from Xbox could follow suit. That wedge just broke. The $80 floodgate is staying shut for now.
They didn't see enough pre-orders. People essentially voted with their wallet. Just that, unlike real votes, the great thing about voting with your wallet is you don't need to do anything to cast your vote. It turns out audiences just wouldn't pay that price for The Outer Worlds 2. But you know what they would pay? The regular price. Because, selling at a normal price, the game did have a top.
Yeah, so I guess they're saying the price came down and it did okay. So, okay, yeah, that's good. That's almost a lesson in marginal utility right there. Yeah. I'm interested to see. FC 26, Madden 26. Yeah, I guess those are pretty high. A lot of these games seem like they would do well in like an esports environment, and so maybe people just want to get the latest games. But yeah, I'm part of that audience that tends to wait for prices to come down. I don't tend to buy games at the bleeding edge unless it's something that I'm really champing at the bit for.
And launch. Though the right product at $80 will sell. Mario Kart World kind of proved that. Even bundled with Switch 2 for many buyers, you don't get a 92% attach rate across 9.57 million copies without lots of people shelling out.
Yeah, well, the Mario Kart games are always good, so it makes sense.
The full amount. But that's only one side of this story, because the reality we need to dive into today is about how off-console prices have been plummeting. But there's a not so funny thing hanging over all of this, and it's the simple fact that video game spending is actually falling, but subscriptions are rising.
I wonder if that has to do with just the competitors, the competing entertainment that you have. So if you have a, you know, we've heard Facebook or Meta, Mark Zuckerberg has said, my biggest competitor is YouTube because it's taking eyes off my product. And Steam is in many ways a big competitor for Meta. So I wonder if in these instances, what's happening is the demand for games is going down because there is competition. In some ways, the competition is the streaming audience, because if people would rather watch a stream, watch somebody else play, than necessarily play it themselves, I get it. I know for a fact there are games that I looked at it, I said, there is no way I'm going to play that game, but I will go onto YouTube and watch somebody do a quick walkthrough, because I can kind of skip through. It's just not something I'm necessarily interested in putting myself through. I think Dear Esther was one of those. I might get some hate for saying that, but walking simulators are not my thing, and that's fine. They're for a different person. But I was interested to see what the hype was about. So in this instance, it seems like if you're not getting those games, those games at the bleeding edge, you're going to be buying your games cheaper. You're going to be getting them later to get them cheaper. And it's probably also something to do with the fact that the supply right now is so high. There are so many games out there that the market is just saturated with them. And what happens when your supply goes up, when you have so many options, you've only got so many hours in the day. So you can afford to be choosy to some degree, but also you can afford to be choosy both in the quantity or the quality of what you get and the nature of what you get, but you can also be choosy on the price. You can just say, I'm going to wait for it to come down because I have so many games in my backlog. It reminds me, there was a comic I remember reading years ago where someone said, I just realized that I have more games in my backlog right now on Steam that I could ever play for the rest of my life. And yet I'm buying more games, right? People might be hitting a point where they're saying, all right, I don't want to do that anymore.
We've seen that in analyst reports, and too often, well, we're paying for subs we don't use. That's why Rocket Money is today's video
Yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Because they make it easy to get a handle on your subscriptions and get saving. And you can even get started today for free at rocketmoney.com/Bellular. Now, Rocket Money will securely and safely identify recurring charges for you, and then you can cancel them in just a few taps. They've basically put the work in to make that real smooth, so if this is a chore you've been
Yep.
putting off, well, now's the time. They make it easy. But it's not just that. Rocket Money will also help you with bill negotiation. You simply upload your bill, and they will be able
That sounds like a good service.
to help. For a personal example, whenever my internet went to its off-contract price, I was able to renegotiate a speed upgrade and also half my monthly bill. But here's the thing, I was overloaded with paperwork, and I actually did that negotiation late. And by doing it late, I basically wasted a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So with the likes of Rocket Money being able to help, you can actually go and make progress in those things way more easily.
The point that he made about the subscriptions, though, I think is a big one. There are a lot of, or did I say prescriptions or subscriptions? There are a lot of services that are leaning into subscriptions now, and I think the more and more we get into like online gaming and streaming gaming, the more subscription based it'll be. We're moving away from you actually owning anything. I tend to hate the Game Passes because I found historically they don't necessarily have the games that I want. I have a pretty well curated collection of the type of games that I enjoy to play, and the Game Passes often just don't have them.
And that is the huge value of Rocket Money. They make it all easy. They've canceled over $500 million of subscriptions. They've helped save customers up to $740 a year when using all of their app's premium features. They've other great tools beyond what I've mentioned, so if you want to spend less and save more, which, sounds pretty good to me,
Yeah.
you can join the over 5 million Rocket Money members using rocketmoney.com/Bellular.
Yeah, use this code if you want to do
Down
that.
below. You can get started for free, play around, have some fun, save some money, and then unlock more features.
Yeah, make sure you use hit that if that's something that you need. Use his code. I don't want to take away from his advertisement on here. If people find value in this, use it.
With premium, and that's rocketmoney.com/Bellular News. If you've bought a game on Steam in the last 18 months, you probably paid $20 or less. In fact, you've probably been paying
Yes, that is 100% correct. In fact, they often have a $20 or less category. And yeah, absolutely, 20 or less.
less since 2023 than you did from 2020. Now, what are these numbers? Well, these numbers are from the research of Simon Carlos, who runs the excellent Game Discover Co. newsletter. He tracked average and median prices for the top 50 new monthly games on Steam during that period of time, ranked by copy sold, and you're looking at the graphs now. We see a median price as
All right. Yeah, you can definitely see just a drop happening from starting here to working its way down. So the median is the blue, and the mean or the average is the red. So yeah, so you have things that are bringing the prices up, like those AAA titles that are wicked high, and then you have a lot more games that are lower in price. And I think part of that is probably the barrier to entry. I mean, it's not hard to get and learn some kind of game development platform and get in and just start building your game, So there's so much that can be put out there that, yeah, it doesn't surprise me necessarily. These are the actual copies of games sold. It doesn't surprise me at all that the prices are coming down for those, because there's, again, when you have something that drives up supply so much, it's what do you do? You run into, I feel like the game designers now have gone from having a problem of creation to a problem of curation. They have to figure out how do I get people to see it. It used to be the problem was just getting the game made. Now it's actually getting people to see it. Incidentally, that's happening in all of entertainment. It happens in films. Like there are so many movies that come out, and the number of smaller kind of indie films that are coming out. There's just so many. You really can't see them all. So you have to figure out a way of curating, and that's where maybe to some degree the algorithm can be beneficial.
Low as $10, as high as $20, with averages between $16 and $29. Shocker, Steam users are thrifty people who like deals. We probably didn't need this much analysis to work that out, but that's not where I'm ending. Here's where things get truly interesting. From February 2023 to October 2025, the average amount of money spent on a best-selling game...
Wow. That's going down too in the face of inflation that's going up. So that's not only is that going down, that's going down by a lot. It's about going down by more than what's being represented here.
Went down by 2%. The median, though, it went down by 20%.
Wow.
That means that more games are selling at a lower price. And whenever Carlos took a look at the...
So the median games are selling at a lower price, but I wonder what the quantity of those sales numbers are. So it could be that the total amount of spend is going up, but people are buying more cheaper games, so the median price is going down even as the overall revenue is going up. I'm wondering if that's the case.
Revenue earned, the trend actually held. Now, in theory, that should favor more expensive
he said
games.
something there about...
It went down by 20%.
Yep.
That means that more games are selling at a lower price.
Right.
And whenever Carlos took a look at the revenue earned, the trend actually held. Now, in theory, that took a look at...
Let's look at that. Median average price, top 50 new monthly games by revenue. Okay, but again, that's looking at the revenue earned by the top 50 new monthly games. Okay, so that's come down. But if that's saying the top 50. But if you're looking at all of the games that are out there, they're going to be games, I think, that are going to be outside of the top 50. Maybe they're not. Oh, okay. If that's saying the top 50 new monthly games by revenue, so if every month they're looking at the top 50 new games, okay, that's probably a pretty good cross-section. I suspect that takes up a pretty fat chunk of the pie chart, and yeah, that tells the story. Okay.
The revenue earned, the trend actually held. Now, in theory, that should favor more expensive games. They generate more revenue per sale. But even there, the median dropped from $23.75 to $20.35. That's about 14% of a drop. And do bear in mind that as this has been happening, the currency has been inflating.
Yeah,
So
yes,
even as players feel like they are being pressured towards $80 games, what they're actually buying is getting cheaper and cheaper. And what's key is that this is not showing us what has been offered to players, it's showing us what players have actually chosen. It's showing the best-selling premium games on the platform.
This is, in many ways, this is why things like Polymarket are better than surveys, because surveys, people will give you a hypothetical answer, but something like Polymarket, where they're putting their money where their mouth is, that's going to give you something a little bit more accurate. In this instance, and you're not taking a survey, they're not saying what they want, they're not giving feedback in that form, they're giving feedback in the form of actually putting dollars down.
And that does feel like a bit of a win, right? That we are seeing smaller teams with cheaper games beginning to dominate the sales space. That says a lot for the value of Steam. And in a world where people would...
And this is where people are talking about Steam being a monopoly. And it's yeah, sure, it may be. Although, again, when you look at Steam, if you look at the games, it's like, does Steam have a monopoly on the PC? Maybe, although there's Good Old Games. And Good Old Games has a value proposition that's different than Steam. Their value proposition is the games are DRM free. Steam's value proposition is it works, and they don't force you to take on extra things, and they give you a platform where you can get the games like cheaply. You can see what the games cost, and you know when the sales are happening, and you can easily they remove so much friction from doing business, and their competitors don't. Like, there's so many times where I see a service out there and it's like, I'm trying to give you my money, why are you making this hard? And that's not Steam. They try to make it easy and they keep the cost low.
Would have to compare the price of a full console plus a subscription for multiplayer and more expensive games, and weigh that up to...
You know, another thing about that, the point that he raised about the console is huge. So since I got my Steam membership, I have bought a new computer, I think 3 times. So my Steam membership dates back a long time now. I've bought a new computer 3 times since then. Every time, the Steam membership, boop, right over to the new console. When I got a PS3 and then I upgraded to a PS4, those games didn't immediately come over. If you upgrade to a PS5, those games do not immediately come over. And so there's an added value that I think gets lost here, that the PC market as a whole, while buying a PC is more expensive than buying the console, you will have those games, especially with services like Steam and Good Old Games, you'll have those games pretty much indefinitely.
To a Steam machine with generally far cheaper games, well, I think it also makes the Steam machine look stronger as well.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it's somewhat validating an argument you see all the time, right? The argument people make every time someone suggests an $80 price point, which is that you make your profit in aggregate. So make your games cheaper, and then more people will buy them. Buying 4 $20 indie games is to many people better than one $80 AAA game.
Yeah, that's true.
Surely that's what's going on. Surely that's what everyone is doing.
I'm sure that's happening to some degree. Like, there's a magical price point. I remember listening to the guy from Spiderweb Software talked about this. He said, what should you set your Steam price to, and why should it be $15 or $20, right? And so, like, for the most part, you can choose between $15 or $20, and there are reasons to do one or the other, and that's going to pretty much get you what you want for if you're looking at an indie game being brought out. For these larger games, you're going to come out $60 seems to be the dollar figure, but if you're not a AAA studio, you're probably going to bring something out. $20 is kind of a sweet spot. You can set it at $20, leave it there for a long time, and people will come in and get your game.
Well, ish. Let's look more into the data. Carlos gave us the perfect example.
A McDonald's visit for a couple of people is going to cost you $20. So if you can get a game that can get hours of entertainment for $20, that's solid.
It's the September releases on Steam, where Silksong sold like gangbusters at $20, with 4.6 million copies shifted on Steam alone. That's nearly double the sales of a full-price title like Borderlands 4. The immediate takeaway is a lower barrier to entry at the price of a couple of coffees, meaning you give yourself the widest possible audience.
Yep.
And a big game. And in theory, that also means that more people can buy more games. But it's actually not quite that simple. You see, regardless of price, the majority of game players don't actually buy that many games. Circana's Future of Games report surveyed 2,500 US players on self-reported purchase patterns. About a third of the market says they buy just one game or fewer a year.
Okay. Approximately a third of video game players purchase a new video game less often than once a year, while about 36% purchase a new game once a quarter or of higher frequency. Okay, I'm wondering, though, of those video game players that purchase a new video game less than once a year, how many of those are... I'm wondering how many of those are like mobile gamers. So if they're calling someone a video game player, what are they using that to base on? Like, does somebody just play Minecraft? Does somebody just play Roblox? Does somebody play World of Warcraft? Because that's less than one game per year. if you have your go-to game, I'd be fascinated to see how many Steam libraries there are that are full of 50 games from past purchases are right now saying, yeah, I do less than one per year because they're playing their old games or because they're playing a game that has virtually unlimited play. Yeah, less than one per. I guess there are people that like going back to their go-to games. That's probably who that is. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if the mobile audiences are in there as well. Like if people just play Stardew Valley on their phone, you can do that for years. So I guess so. I get it.
Just under 2/3, 63%, buy fewer than 2 games a year. That is absolutely insane to me, but I suppose when I think about what my norms are, or maybe you do the same, we probably have a sampling bias.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I probably just demonstrated that sampling bias literally as I'm talking about it right now. Yeah, I guess so. And I definitely have a sampling bias. There are people out there that still watch reality TV, and that's not me. So I get it. I don't get it, but I get it.
One that is in and around enthusiast gamers. We do buy more games, but it seems that with broader audiences, that is less the case. Now, obviously, that's Circana doing a survey of 2,500 people in the US. It's
2,500 people. I wonder. I bet there's some other element to their answers. There's some other grouping that they could have used to further separate those groups to get something a little bit more valuable.
good enough work. It's hypothesis generating work, but obviously it is just a survey.
Yeah, hypothesis generating is a good way to describe that.
Though I would say that when you think about games overall, a lot of it is plausible. You see, a lot of people are only interested in buying this year's
Okay. I hadn't even thought about the sports games. He's 100% right. Yeah, if you have the people who buy their FIFAs, they buy their NBA. Yeah, okay, I get it. I follow.
sport game, or this year's Call of Duty. Well, maybe not this year's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Maybe they put Battlefield instead. But the majority of any product-based industry is often people who are gently engaged in it, not people, perhaps.
Well, that's the majority of people, but that's not the majority of purchases. Like, you could probably say that the majority of people buy less than 2 games per year, but the majority of purchases are made by people who buy more than 2 games per year. And both of those statements can be true.
You and me. But it's actually the top of the chart that complicates things here, because those people probably aren't the ones buying indie games for $20 en masse.
Right.
No, that's the other 37% of people, but even that 37%...
The other 37%. So he's talking about... Where's the 37% figure coming from? All right.
is quite stratified. 22% say they buy a game every 3 months.
I think he might have been saying 36%, but okay.
That's 4 games a year, and that adds up with Valve's own data. Yes, Valve's own data suggests that users...
The average user only plays 4 games in 2023. What does that actually mean? Okay.
played only 4 games on Steam on
Automaton West at automaton-media.com.
average in 2023 and 2024. A further 10% buy a new game monthly, which is, of course, great for an industry releasing thousands of games a year. But we need...
So that's interesting. If we go back on that for a second, they buy a new game about once a month, and the other one says they buy a new game once every 3 months. They're not necessarily saying... So that once every 3 months makes perfect sense to me, because if they have a big sale about every quarter, I don't think they're saying that they buy 4 games per year. I think that's saying they buy games 4 times per year. So approximately a third of video game players purchase a new video game less often than once per year. how often do you typically purchase a new game? If I bought my game once every quarter, I would probably answer this about once every 3 months, even if I was buying more than 4 games per year. I don't think I would say, well, I buy my games once a quarter, but I buy 10 games a year because I'm doing the deal shopping. So because that would put me closer to the once a month. It's poorly worded. It is what it is, but I think a better question might have been, how many game purchases per year do you make? Not how often do you typically buy games. But it is what it is.
Game monthly, which is of course great for an industry releasing thousands of games a year. But we need to put this in perspective. If you bought Silk Song and any other game in September, 2 games in 1 month, then you are only 4% of the games market. That's
2 games in 1 month. No, that's not right. So it said more than once a month. If you bought 2 games in 1 month, but you bought them at the same time, that's you could still buy your games once every 3 months. So I think that's wrong. I think that's a wrong assessment, but that's fine. It didn't ask how many games per year do you buy, with that 4% being 12 games per year. It asks how often you typically do your purchases. So we'll go back.
2 games in 1 month, then you are only 4% of the games market. That's kind of wild. And even if we're allowed to some swing and fuzziness because a survey is only as good as the survey, the point I think still does stand. And of course, it's a point that we do see in a lot of other things as well. Take whaling, right? Whaling and free-to-play games, where the majority of the revenue does come from a very small strata of that game's player base. And when we
That's so, yeah, if you don't know what that is. So a lot of games are free to play, and they'll have a something out there that is, or a product that you can buy, and they'll have tiered levels of products. And most people won't ever buy the in-app purchases, or the in-app, the things, the costumes and such in the game. But you'll have a few people who will. You have a few people who will spend thousands of dollars to beat a pay-to-win type of thing. I think the Diablo mobile game, there were some serious whales on there. They must have spent some ridiculous 5 or 6 figure amount of money to be able to get to where they are in the game. And the whole concept of whaling, I find to be somewhat vulgar, but it's what's out there. I suppose. I mean, casinos have been relying on whaling for a long time, and so it's not that unusual, but it is still kind of gross.
we see data like that, I think we begin to understand why all of those publishers and indie devs moved their releases away from Silksong, or of course, away from GTA 6.
Yep.
And in the case of the indies, it would especially be because most of those indies are at the same price point or cheaper than Silksong.
Yep. Once again, the problem of curation, not creation. That's right.
So if you're releasing against Silksong, a game with massive cut-through to enthusiast audiences, if you're releasing against that, then, well, you're betting on the 4% of the market turning up.
You're betting on the 4. If you're releasing, see again, I bumped something over there. So again, I think that might be true. Hang on, let me get back to where I was.
Point or cheaper than Silksong. So if you're releasing against Silksong, a game with massive cut-through to enthusiast audiences,
Yep.
if you're releasing against that, then, well, you're betting on the 4%.
See, here's the thing. You're betting on the 4%. Maybe not. If you're releasing your game at the same time as Silksong and at the same time as a sale. I guess during a sale, everybody wants the products to be cheaper. And if people are buying Silksong, they're buying Silksong. They're not buying multiple products. So I guess, see, how often do you typically purchase a new game? So again, maybe this is accurate, because if they're saying a new game as in the game is new? Like, do you release it? Did it recently get released, or is it new to you, but it may be 10 years old? Silk Song was a new game. It was at a new game price, and it was at full price. Would you want to release something against that? No, because at the new game price and at a full price, people don't want to buy two of those at the same time. But this overall, this figure that I'm seeing here, or this chart that I'm seeing here, like, again, I could see that spike that you see at 22% there. I could see that being the people that go in once every 3 months, they hit the quarterly sale, and at the quarterly sale, they might buy 10 or 15 games during the year. They still fall within that 22%. But I think I get the spirit of what he's saying here.
Of the market turning up that does actually buy multiple games a month. That doesn't really seem like a great strategy, does it? And here's the kicker. What if I told you there's another layer? You see, this chart does not distinguish between new games and already released games that are on sale.
Right. That's the point I was making. And if you buy more, you can buy 12 games a year and only buy it 4 times a year. And you're in that 22%, not the 4%.
Every time someone buys a game that's been out for 6 months, they're probably not buying a new game that month to go along with it,
Yes, that's
regardless of
correct.
price. So, more people aren't buying games, even as prices keep trending down. Now, if that is the case, as a bunch of this data suggests, well, why then are audiences feeling like they are constantly being asked for more and more? When people
Well, they are being asked for more and more for those once a year gamers. So your Call of Duties, your EA Sports games, your the big AAA games. Yeah, they are being asked for more and more. And another thing to look at there is they're being asked for more and more at the console level. One of the things you'll notice is if you go to the Nintendo eShop, you're not going to see deep discounts there. You will see deep discounts on Steam, and that's what's bringing people over to Steam. But for a lot of games, when they first come out, yeah, you're seeing higher and higher price points, or you're seeing a game that's at $60, and then it has the Millennial Edition for $80. And then you have the Super Omega Edition for $100. I mean, you see that even on good old games. You'll see multiple editions, and it's like the value stack of the Contrapreneur Bingo, where you've got just additional layers being added on. So people may still buy the game. I think when I bought Diablo, I bought it on a console, which was really unusual for me, but I bought it on a console. I think I bought the base version of the game, Diablo 4. But there were many other versions of it, and it didn't interest me enough to get those higher versions.
people are asked to pay $80 or $70 for a video game, Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony are basically banking on a fairly simple principle, that the people who actually have money will spend it regardless of anything else that's going on.
Well, they bring out different versions so they can try to get that marginal utility. So the people who want the $100 version of the game, like what was it? The Pathfinder Kingmaker was like that. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous was like that. I think Baldur's Gate 3 may have had that as well. Like, they had different tiers. They had in-game items. They had extra quests. They had extra classes. All of these things you could get for the $100 version of the game. You didn't have to get the $100 version of the game, though. You could buy the $60 one. And even now, if I go in, I can see each of those. In fact, here, let's take a quick moment here. Let me bring back Steam. All right. So let me go to the Steam store. And I'm going to pick an older game. All right. I'll pick Kingmaker because I know there are different versions of it, right? So if I look here, Pathfinder Kingmaker, I have the base game of Pathfinder Kingmaker, but then I see a whole bunch of extra add-ons. Kingmaker the Wild Cards, Kingmaker Royal Ascension, right? If I come back up here and I go Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and again, these are great games. I love them, okay? But, all right, there's the Wrath of the Righteous, which I can get for $20. Then there's the Game of the Year edition, and it has a value stack on it, which is fine. They're putting other things in here. Alcott Games CRPG bundle. All right, $62 price point. So a lot of these games have these higher level versions that are often over $80. Let's take a look. Baldur's Gate 3. All right. So there's Baldur's Gate 3, which I already have, and that's at a $60 price point. All right. They have the Deluxe Edition DLC that you can stack onto that. They have, let's see, anything else here? Nothing else there jumps out at me. Let's take a quick look at, let's go over to Good Old Games for a second, and let's see what new games they have out right now. If I were to grab, let's see here. Let's see. I think Neverwinter Nights 2 came out recently, right? Neverwinter Nights 2. Yep. And I bought the complete edition. All right. Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition, $30. Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2, so you can bundle them together, and that's fine. Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete Edition. Let me do this again, not as me, but let's see what they have if I'm not logged in. So let's bring it up here. Neverwinter Nights 2. All right. So I can get Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete. So they have different values here for these. All right. So if I look at Complete Edition, let's reject those. So, all right. So I can get Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete for $19. And this, if you're the owner of Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete, you get a 25% loyalty discount on Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced. And so, but when these first came out, these enhanced editions were a lot higher. And so I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, Diablo 4 was showing a price point of close to $100 for the highest edition of it. So they have these things that they put out there that give you that sense of marginal utility, where it's like the people who have the money, who want to get, who are really into it, they're going to pay the most money, and you're going to wring that chamois out of them. And then the next layer down, you're going to get a little bit less money out of them, but you're going to get the maximum amount that you can. And that's how it happens.
Essentially, they're betting on it being a premium product with inflexible demand. That is why marketing teams target those people. That's why those absurd collector's editions exist.
Yeah, there you go. Okay,
right?
there you go.
The people who absolutely love games and have money. They're the people these companies can count on.
Yep.
The games industry basically thrives in people who can spend without thinking about it, which has always been the case. Buying more than one $60 game at launch has been unaffordable to people for years.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Well, the problem is the proportion of people with money to spend freely actually does appear to be shrinking. Get this. As of September, the top 10% of earners accounted for 50% of US retail sales.
Consumers in the top 10% of the income distribution accounted for 49.2 total spending in the second quarter. Okay.
And the very same year, spending in games is actually down. The 18 to 25 age group in the US is spending nearly a quarter less in games this year. And
that's true. I remember years ago, I think it may have been Elon Musk that talked about Tesla was targeting a higher up audience, or a richer audience initially. And if you're trying to bring a new product to market, if you're trying to get something out there, if you can sell it, if you can add cool features like the plaid, which it's crazy to me, but it is what it is. But if you can add these features and you can get people to buy the higher end version of the product, they're kind of a gold mine for you if you can make something for the people who have the money. Yeah, I get that.
Everyone, just in large, is down a couple of percent. But on the whole, most game spending is only a few points down. Now, given we're in rough economic times, that could seem like a good thing, right? Oh, the world is experiencing troubles, but games are only down in most categories by a few percent. What if I told you it's actually worse than that? You see, the difference that's been made up, right? What's made this only a few points down? Well, it's basically subscriptions making up the difference, because those have grown all year. But that comes from the bottom of the spending population, not the top, right? It comes from people who are seeking more and more value for their increasingly limited dollars,
Sure.
whilst also spending less and less on premium games. And I think that is the big tension that people are feeling. We're in a situation where game marketing and traditional big games are basically out of reach to most of the audience, more so than perhaps ever in recent memory. But the companies haven't changed how they talk to players as a whole. A lot of the market has changed underneath those companies, but it's not really like it seems they've really changed their comms to match. And that is leading to
Haven't changed their comms to match. I'll have to think about that for a while. Like, what are the comms that we're talking about here? You know, he's talking about the higher end of the games that are out there, but when it comes to the lion's share of what you see here over the games that he's talking about, I don't know what comms there are necessarily. They're putting the games out. The games are they may be waiting and not buying it when it's brand new. They wait until it's older to get a lower price, and that wait might be what's driving the price down. But that wait is also being driven by the fact that so many games are coming out that we're just saturated. So, like, even if a brand new $20 game comes out, if it's the sales season, those 4 times a year, people will buy the cheaper $15, $10, $6 markdown version of a game. They'll buy a couple of those instead of the one $20 one.
people feeling ignored. It's leading to people facing demands that they cannot meet. And that's because the companies that used to be targeting them are now not targeting them. They are targeting someone with more disposable income. And that's a tough change to stomach. But by contrast, the $20 games on Steam are changing. Individual indie developers are watching game prices creep lower and lower. And they're just hoping that they will get enough sales to succeed, because they cannot afford to price higher and risk player blowback. Now,
well, there's pricing higher, but then there's adding value. So that's where I think a lot of these games are. They're getting you the base game, and then they're selling expansions. I'll tell you a game that's really good at this is Sentinels of the Multiverse. They have it on mobile and they have it on Steam. And you can get the base game for very cheap. And in fact, if you have a family account, that base game translates across your entire family account. If you want to buy the expansions, though, the expansions have to be bought with each individual account. So you may gift to somebody the base game, and then they may end up if they want to get more, if they want to get the expansions, if they want to get the additional value, they have to buy those things. But the things do add value. They add additional characters. They add a lot of things that some people may want. Some people may not ever care for. Some may like the original game, and then as they get the original game, as they grow into it, they say, all right, I want to buy one expansion. Let's play that for a while. Now I'll buy the next expansion. And they keep adding those stories. So you can add to the value proposition, but you've got to add value. That's the key thing.
we're not quite at the mobile game space, where developers basically can't afford to price games as premium products anymore. But
Well, I don't know if that's true. There are a lot of premium games out there. And in fact, a challenge that you have right now, I think, is getting games that respect your security and don't take up, a lot of, or don't invade themselves into your files, into your camera and everything else. And for a lot of them, if you can pay to get that secure, like a clean game, if you can pay to get that, hey, it's worth it. In fact, there are many apps that I've considered getting, but when I see, oh, this contains ads, nope, not interested. Happy to buy it. If you have a paid version, happy to buy it. Because I'll spend $5 for an app that doesn't give me ads, right? But with the games there are a lot of games, like if you go to the Play Store, there's a fair number of them there, premium games. And they're enough actually that there's some selection, but not so many that there's noise. There's so much noise among the free stuff though that it's just gross. Yeah. So I kind of disagree. I buy exclusively premium games from things like the Play Store. I'm not interested in a lot of the free slop that's out there.
We are seeing a shift in how games are sold. And what that may lead to may not be great for all of us. Because if you can't ask players for more than $25 without facing comparisons to Silksong, then you may start having to scope your development very differently indeed.
You used to see this, I want to say when Braid came out, it originally came out at $25. I could be mistaken there. It might have been 15. But when that one came out, I mean, you could beat that game. I think an average player would beat that game probably in 3 to 4 hours. I did a speed run of that game just last night in under 35 minutes. So, I guess you can get a comparison to it. Like if you have something really good and really innovative, yeah, I can see you getting compared to Silksong. I remember seeing games back in the day getting compared to Braid and Portal for all of that, for the price point that people were asking for their indie game. And really what a lot of it comes down to is how many hours of play am I going to get out of this? Is it going to hook me long enough to get me beyond the first few hours? And then if it does get me beyond the first few hours, is it going to keep me hooked long enough that I can continue right on and really extract some value out of the game? I played Baldur's Gate 3. I paid the $60 for it. But I think I clocked over 100 hours in that game. It was great. So, yeah, anyway, lost my train of thought there.
And that means that some traditional games simply would be out of reach. It could also mean that we do feel more...
I want to go back to what he said there.
May not be great for all of us. Because if you can't ask players for more than $25 without facing comparisons to Silksong...
You should get comparisons to Silksong. Silksong is a good game. It's a solid $20 game. And when we're in a place where the problem is curation, not creation, maybe there should be some comparison. There was talk about when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, people were concerned about every game being compared to Baldur's Gate 3. Hey, if you're releasing a AAA title, maybe it ought to be compared to a Baldur's Gate 3. So I don't mind $20 games being compared to Silksong. If they're good games, they'll sell. And at a $20, that's a pretty good price point. For a game, particularly a game like Silksong, to sell as many as it did, yeah, it better be a darn good game, even at $20.
Then you may start having to scope your development very differently indeed. And that means that some traditional games simply would be out of reach.
So I'd have to... What does he mean by traditional games? But, yeah. I might be getting a little bit too semantic there.
It could also mean that we do feel more and more nickel and dimed. So,
yeah,
it's not all doom and gloom. It actually seems there's a lot of vibrancy in the indie scene.
Yeah.
What we are seeing is a changing market, changing behaviors, and a AAA...
Yeah, you got stuff like Megabonk, you got Ball Pit. I mean, some of these are pretty amazing games. And, yeah, we're getting, the indie market's doing pretty well. Kids are all right.
...sector that is struggling to keep up pace with that change. So no wonder they're out of touch. And speaking of out of touch, Bungie. That's certainly something a lot of people would say about them, and they have just had some not-so-rosy news. Basically, a big write-off at the same time that they kind of admitted they shat the bed with Destiny 2. If you want to learn about that, watch this video next.
Cool. Yeah, it was a great video. I'd encourage giving it a watch. Go over to Bellular News and subscribe. He has great videos out there. So that's all I got this evening. I think I'm about to tap out. And so thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me this evening. And if there are any games or anything you want to see me play, I'm probably going to play some more Co-Ridden tomorrow. But if there are any games you want to see me play, let me know, and I'm happy to bring them up and play through them and play horribly. But we'll see how things go. So thank you. Have a great night.